Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today I have a group of our community leaders that are working hard to support our seniors in our community. We have Michelle Smeltzer. We know Michelle. She's the community liaison with Department of Social Services. This is Holly Goode. She's a realtor, I believe, right, Holly? And we have Pete Lawrence. So today we're going to talk about kind of like a program that's put on by Seniors First. Is that correct?
Actually, it's the Senior Alliance team.
Okay.
We work through the Chamber of Commerce
That's right. Okay.
to get resources out.
Okay. Well, Holly, why don't you seem like you know all about it. Why don't you start off? Tell us what this alliance is all about.
Well, it became because there's just a great need to get resources out to our aging population here in the county. And so what we did is we started a group of professionals pretty much middle of last year, and we just all come together and meet once a month, and we talk about what the needs are, what we're seeing as far as senior adults here in the community.
I'm really surprised. I just did a story of what the Rotary Club was doing and the meals for the holidays and things, and also Meals on Wheels, all these things that we've talked about over the years. It's just amazing the amount of meals and programs and feeding people in our community. I'm always amazed at the Department of Social Services, the large percentage of our community are involved, kind of like goes through there somehow. So it's really, there is a need. And of course, there's a lot of us,
Right. And there's going to be
growing.
more.
Growing.
Every day, it's what's happening. So Pete, how are you involved in this?
So I work for a company called Right at Home. We're an in-home care company based in Winchester, but we serve the entire northern Shenandoah Valley. And Holly approached me when she started the group, and I was one of the people that came and started getting involved. And when you mentioned Seniors First, they're not only a member of our group, but a partner of all three of us in different ways in the community.
Right.
And so there's people there from facilities in town, from rehabs, from home care, from home health, all people whose main job is to serve seniors in the area. And we've come together to make sure that resources are combined and available to people. And it's good to know what people do and be able to refer to them.
Yeah. Well, I always say there's a vast knowledge among all of us, as we get older. Sometimes, you kind of get forgotten, don't you think? I mean, especially as our seniors get a little older, families moved away, and then we're kind of left here, who's taking care of us? Who do they turn to? And, the technology has overpowered us, on some of these things. If our grandkids aren't there to help us, fix our phone or whatever it is. So what's on the agenda for that you have coming up over the next few weeks or days or months?
So, you go right ahead.
Well, last night we had an estate planning seminar. Doug McCarthy with McCarthy and Acres came and taught the class. We had 30 people show up, so it was great for a Monday night, a cold Monday night. Sure. Very successful event, and he has done a couple for us so far. And they're all free events, and we just want to get the knowledge out there. We have so many people that just they don't know who to call to find something. It just recently we had a friend of mine call, and she had a friend going to the hospital with some mental incompetency. Right. And the hospital wanted him out, and he had no place to go because he couldn't stay at home by himself. Sure. And so one of our partners, a Safe Haven for Seniors, was able to get him into a place in 24 hours. Yeah. So we just need that place for them to feel comfortable and safe calling and get the services that they need.
Like you said, I have Michelle on speed dial. and I do. I mean, I don't know who to call. I say, well, call Michelle, because if she doesn't know, she knows a guy.
Exactly.
She'll know somebody.
She's
that
the
can help.
goat.
It's just like when we do those, like your one-stop resource center. And those little events like that you put on, it's a great tool for our community, and a lot of people just don't know about it. That's why we want to get the word out that there's almost, you can't imagine the need. There's somebody that's out there that'll help almost for anything you can think of.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's next on the plan?
Well, we have a dementia series starting, a virtual lunch and learn, and it starts at the beginning of this month and at the end of this month, and we'll be doing that for 5 months, and we'll sort of end that whole process with trying to get donations for Alzheimer's. We're just, there's so much of it out there, and people don't want to really admit that this is what's going on with their family, but the caregivers need some help. So
Right.
we're trying
And this is not always just about seniors. It's about caregivers and children and family members that want to know what's going on.
Exactly.
So what's your role in all this? Are you trying to guide people through?
I'm just going to sit here now. So social services, of course, has a lot of
It's
a lot of
intertwined in all these
resources.
things,
yes.
aren't they?
And so I guess one thing to put out there is that even if you've never been involved in social services in your life, you might not have ever needed to have SNAP or Medicaid or any of the other services that we offer. But once you've retired, your income a lot of times will go down, and you might have some issues where you need to go into assisted living or long-term care, or a family member that needs to do that. And so social services is there, and there might be a program in there that fits perfectly with your needs. So my recommendation would be to contact social services if you have somebody that needs to go into, that needs at-home care, or that needs assisted living or long-term care, and get a screening. And you just have to call, do an intake over the phone. Someone will contact you and set it up, and they'll go out and screen the client.
If they can't help you, they might know maybe you might fit in another program.
And then also to get your Medicare premium paid by Medicaid, apply for that. And you might get it, you might not get it.
Right.
You might be, right under the resources, and you're able to get that. And there's lots of different levels.
And they change all the time.
Yes.
I mean, they're always changing.
So even if you don't, like, I'll never, that I won't be approved for something like that, try and see. I mean, it could put $180 back in your pocket if the least they do is pay your Medicare premium. So and if you're over the age of 65 and or disabled in any way, you would be able to do that Appendix D and apply for that extra help.
So now, Holly, where can people find out more information about all your activities and what's going on?
I post a lot on Facebook. We post through the Chamber of Commerce here in town.
Right. And share it on the Royal Examiner. So it's
Yes. But we have at least 23 partners in our group, and everyone is very active, and we work together. And sometimes we come across problems that we don't have answers to, but we'll get there. So we'll work together.
Well, I know we're going to have you back again next month, I believe, someone from your organization. We're going to try to keep this thing going throughout the year and kind of highlight programs that are happening. I know right now you're busy with the Hearts.
The shelter, yes, and
the
we
shelter.
do have seniors there too, so.
So there's a lot of activities. I know winter brings on problems that we don't really notice in the summertime.
Right.
We have fuel assistance and
yes, we have fuel assistance, and I mean, if you're struggling, apply for these programs. Even if you think, well, I'm never going to be approved. Just apply and see. Yeah.
Again, if you don't ask,
Right.
Ask and you shall receive. That's how it goes. Yeah. Well, Pete, I thank you for coming in, and Holly and Michelle. And anything else we want to touch on before we leave?
If Pete could go into a little bit about the services that they provide at home,
that'd be great.
Wonderful.
Sure.
So we offer care to disabled vets, disabled adults, and senior citizens throughout the Northern Shenandoah Valley. It's really just 2 levels of care. The first is called companion care, and that's help with things like light housekeeping and laundry, running errands for you or with you, almost as if your loved one has a personal assistant.
Sure.
And then the other level is called personal care. That includes all of those companion care tasks, but then also helps with things like dressing and bathing and hygiene. And for that level of care, we send a CNA or a PCA.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Sometimes you just need a little help. And you're still independent enough, but, it takes all day to put your shoes on. I know how that is sometimes. But, again, that's great to have care like that. So, and again, we'll put links to your organization below in the story so maybe people can check that out as well as all the things that are going on. I really appreciate you sharing this with us, and we'll see maybe you next month as well. How's that?
Thank you so much for having
Thanks,
us.
Mike.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.